You are watching Morning Musings with Reinhard von Hennings, chairman and founder of Bridge House Law in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Let's talk about some requirements to enter different parts of the world. Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennings. I spoke about ESTA in previous musings. I spoke about ETIAS as well. So let's talk about how these two compare, as well as how these two compare with Canadian requirements. I think it's relevant because global travelers who are part of G7 nations are frequently, for business and for fun, visiting other G7 countries. So what if you are a European citizen who do not need a visa to enter the United States? You need an ESTA. How about if you're a European citizen, you want to enter Canada? You need the ETA. So let's talk about that and compare this with the new European Travel Information and Authorization System known as ETIAS, which, just as a little warning and a spoiler alert, is not yet active. It will, based on the current predictions, become mandatory for international travelers who do not need a visa to have this ETIAS available as of January 1, 2024. So time to plan. But let's compare the notes. Let's compare the requirements. ETIAS, European, ESTA, United States, and Canada with ETA have similar electronic systems in place, and those systems implemented are there to enhance border security and to regulate travel for visa-exempt travelers. They all serve similar purposes, but they have notable differences between them. Let's talk about the purpose and the coverage. ETIAS in Europe is specific to the European Union, and it applies to travelers from visa-exempt countries visiting the Schengen Area. It aims to strengthen the security checks and to reduce the waiting time at the airports by pre-screening individuals before the arrival into the European Union. ESTA, on the other hand, was implemented by the United States and is applied to travelers, again, for visa-exempt countries who are visiting the United States under the so-called Visa Waiver Program. The objective here is to screen the traveler's eligibility and to identify potential risks. Sounds familiar to the European version? Well, it is. Let's talk about Canada. The Canada entry requirement, known as ETA, is applicable to visa-exempt travelers visiting Canada by air. The purpose is, again, to identify individuals who pose a risk. So from a geographic scope, ETIAS covers 26 European countries within the Schengen area. So the popular travel destinations for fun and for work, like France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Greece, are included. Once an individual arrives in the Schengen area and is cleared with ETIAS and the local border patrol, they are free to move around within the Schengen countries. ESTA is, however, specific to travelers in the United States for all 50 states, as well as Puerto Rico, the US Virgin Islands, and Guam. And, of course, Canada. The ETA is required for travelers flying into Canada. The application process for ETIAS, ESTA, and ETA requires all travelers to complete an online documentation, an online application, and this application generally has personal information requests, as well as passport and security-related questions. The purpose, again, is to evaluate the eligibility to enter, as well as to identify risks. ETIAS are valid for 3 years. ESTA is valid for 2 years. Both of them have the limitation to whenever the passport expires. Both ESTA and the European ETIAS are valid for 90 days. However, there is a little tiny caveat on the European setting. The intended is that those 90 days may not be exceeded over a 180-day period. Let's talk about Canada. Canada's ETA is valid for 5 years or until the passport expires. So 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, there is a little difference. Canadians, however, allow you to stay for not more than 6 months. Hooray! So if you want to go to Canada, you can stay longer. Let's talk about fees. The ETIAS, ESTA, and eTA require different processing fees. They are in the few euros for few Canadian dollar range. So it's not a major application fee. Note also that there are certain third-party vendors out who are not affiliated with the governmental entities who upcharge you for being processed through them. So while ETIAS, ESTA, and the Canadian entry requirements share a common goal, they're implemented in different ways. They are valid for different ways, 3 years, 5 years, 2 years. So in conclusion, while ETIAS, ESTA, and the Canadian entry requirements share a common goal, it's also important to note that they have a different validity. So keep in mind that you should not only track how long your passport is valid, but how long can you travel to Canada, to the Schengen region in Europe, as well as the United States. Different expirations apply. Safe travels.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about British House Law, please visit our website at bridgehouse.law. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date content. British House Law, business-minded, client-focused.
Whether you're a private citizen, an international business leader, or simply someone eager to stay on top of the latest news, this book is a great way to get caught up on the most recent developments in the worlds of international business, tax, politics, and social affairs. Go to morningmusings.com and order your copy today.